Welcome back to another episode of Who Wrote That Shopping List? We've got another user-submitted shopping list, and we're going to try and figure out who wrote it. Let's do it. Okay, so I don't know how to properly prepare you for this one. This one was sent in from a viewer. Thank you, Scott. And thank you for your submission, your contribution of a found shopping list. And this one, going to be unlike any that I've ever shown on this channel. I'm still kind of questioning whether we should do this one. But so it looks different. It's printed on just a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper because it was actually submitted to iheartstamos@gmail.com or iheartstamos@tn2mshows.com, where if you find a list, you can take a picture of that and email it to us, and we just might feature it. So we're going to flip this around and we're going to go through this. It's not a very long list, but it is impactful, is what I will say. So here we go. We're going to flip this over. And it's on the back of an envelope. We'll see the whole thing when we get done. But the first thing on there is Prego spaghetti sauce. Does not list what kind, whether it's like, I think they have like tomato and meat flavored, and they have like tomato basil is a really good one. Tomato basil for a while was my favorite. I don't know if that's a Prego or if that's I know they have there's another brand of spaghetti sauce that's really, really good. But so Prego spaghetti sauce on there, taking up a lot of the envelope, by the way. Underneath that, we have coffee, and you see there capital F's, which is interesting. I like the random capitals in the middle of the words. I find that interesting. So doesn't list if it's coffee grounds, coffee beans, coffee pods, what kind of coffee. So this person obviously just has to know coffee, and they know what they're going to get. So obviously an informed person does not need to have specifics. So underneath that, kind of the same way, bread, just generic bread. Doesn't list white wheat, what brand, anything like that. I don't know what the difference is. I've seen white bread and sandwich bread, and I don't really know what the difference is between white wheat and sandwich. I know obviously the difference between white bread and wheat bread, but I've never Googled it, so I don't know what the difference is with sandwich bread and why it's like, let's make sandwich bread, specifically label it as sandwich bread. So I don't know what makes it special for sandwiches. I don't know. But so if you know, tell me. Next, we have the last normal entry into this list, which is soda if 2 free. And the same F's, the same capital F's, but not in the cursive word if. Interesting. But I know which grocery chain this is now, because there is one that's buy one, get 2 free on, usually it's Coke products. So obviously this was a Kroger shopping list, found at Kroger. I'm guessing. I don't know that for sure, but I know that that's a sale that they run. So soda if 2 free, but it doesn't list the brand either. So obviously this person just like they have one kind of spaghetti sauce, one kind of coffee, one kind of bread, one kind of soda that they like, which I'm cool with that. Like, find one that you like and just roll with it. So that's where the traditional part of this list ends. And I'm sure you're wondering at this point why I've said this list is unlike any that I've ever featured on this program before. And you're about to know why. Because as we slide down here, you can see there's something else written. And I'm just going to pull back and show you the last part. Someone has just written PMS on this list. So definitely different handwriting. almost scratched like they're a hostage, that they have written PMS on here. So written by a different person, written obviously with a different mindset from everything else as they have written everything else on this list. So that begs the question, and this kind of leads me to my guess, which I think it leads me to believe that this is a guy who was given a list and told to go to the store and pick up things, and he wrote that on the bottom so that he could make sure not to forget the medicine or some kind of pain reliever or something for somebody else in his household who is afflicted with PMS. Might be a controversial take, might be a controversial thing to say. I don't know. And it might be completely unrelated. It might just be something that somebody wrote later on afterwards. Maybe somebody else found this list first and wrote it. But that is the entire list. I will zoom out and show you that was how it was sent to me. That is the full list. So I am going to choose to believe that that was written as is, as you see it on your screen right now, as the person went into the store. So I feel like this person wrote that to remind themselves to pick up medication, some sort of medicine, something from the pharmacy. Or maybe it was like, they wanted to get a specific food or something for the person who is suffering from the PMS affliction. But I think I am choosing to believe that that was part of the initial list, and the person who it's one of these interesting ones where, and I will expand on that during my final guess here in a minute, where the person who wrote the list is not the person who lost the list. And that's where the name of the show kind of can be a bit deceiving, because who wrote that shopping list is not always the same as who dropped that shopping list, or whose shopping list is this, or anything like that. So, but I think who wrote it was, I think the wife, the female of the family, the mom of the family, however you want to say it, wrote the list, gave it to her husband, boyfriend, whoever, and he is the one who went to the store, added that last one to remind himself not to leave empty-handed, to aid with that, and unfortunately dropped it as part of this on this envelope, which I find it ironic that the envelope lists for information about your privacy rights, which they dropped it. But so I'll expand just a little bit more in my final guess. So take one last look at this list and get your final guess, because it is time for my final guess. All right, so we've gone through the list, this interesting list. I've never quite seen one just like this. I feel like you haven't either, if you've only seen lists from this show, because this one, it's a doozy. I don't know how much of it's going to be blocked by YouTube, how much it's going to push this one down because of what we talked about looking at this list. But the way I look at this list is I see this list written by, and this is where we have to draw the distinction between the list, who it's written by and who dropped it, because I feel like those are not the same on this one. I think this was a list that was mostly created by the wife in the family, who then gave it to the husband to go fill, and he made the one interesting addition on the bottom, and to remind him to get something for that. But it is, it sure is something. But I think this is a husband is the one who had the list written on the back of this envelope, and dropped it, but it was provided to him by his wife, who obviously, for reasons that we talked about when we saw the list, did not really feel like shopping that day. So that's who I think wrote the list. You can tell me who you think wrote the list, if you think I was right, if you think I was wrong. If you have any interesting observations about this list, feel free to write them in the comments. And as always, I'm going to write in what I think this person looked like, and have AI generate a few graphic photo representations of who I think wrote this. So you can tell me if I'm right, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but be sure to stick around next week or next time. Now that these are every other week, but stay tuned next time for an all new episode of Who Wrote That Shopping List. Until next time, I am Chris. Thank you, everybody who has liked, commented, subscribed, any of that, shared any of these videos, because you are the reason that we have made our 100,000 subscribers. So to you, on behalf of all of us here at TN2M Shows, thank you very much. And until next time, I'm Chris. This is Who Wrote That Shopping List.